I forgot to take this video while the grapes were still here, but there are about 8 Chardonnay down this line and some over here. So what happened, these were little hazelnuts and they've become big hazelnuts, and when they've got their leaves on, they were shading right over the Chardonnays. So this became a very bad spot for Chardonnays. So I've pulled them out and they've moved down, right down here where the other ones are. But that's why I'm moving them, because of the shadowing effect of these hazelnuts. So this is the lower section where I'm going to replant them to. I've spot marked them with the upside down paint and a long stick just to measure the spaces between. Spot marking means I don't have to measure them each time I go to do it. Easy. I've dug a nice big hole. I don't know how big the root ball is from above. It's nice black soil. Looks very rich, quite crumbly. I think it's volcanic. We've got a lot of volcanic sandy soil here. To the west, southwest, is a big volcano range. Central plateau of New Zealand's got Mount Ruapehu, Mount Narahoi, Mount Tongariro, and they've blasted ash right over this area at various times in the past. Big volcanoes. So there's a lot of sandy soil here. Here's the root in my hand. Quite long root development, not bad. Because of the nature of my soil, there's no way I can get it out like with the soil. It just comes sort of bare rooted like that. But there's not much damage to the roots. I think the hole size is about right. Might dig out down a bit more. I've got, when you plant bare rooted grapevines or anything, they sort of encourage you to build a little mound in the middle. A little mound in the middle for the base of the trunk to sit on. The graft is way up here somewhere, so it can all go underground. So I'm just going to plant that right up to about here. It's about half full now. You grab the stalk and jiggle it up and down a bit just to make the soil settle around the roots. Not too viciously. And there it is. A bit of fertilizer on the top. It's pretty vertical. So I've got to put a stick in it and half a bucket of water. The water's quite important to wash the soil around the roots deep down. It's dormant, so it won't be taking up much water. It's got a nice sunny spot here, particularly in summer. It'll be happier. And there it is. It's got water and a stick, which I'll tie that main leader to that. I've put some of the soil sods on the downside, just so the water is contained in the hole. Afterwards, I usually create a swale, which is a cut in the earth, which diverts water into the base of the grape. It's pretty easy to do. It's quite fun to do too, actually, diverting water. That one's done. Rinse and repeat now. 12 times, 10, 12 times. Okay, I've transplanted 7 of them. It's quite fun, actually. I'm really being a bit fussy about it. Planting depth, digging them out properly as best I can anyway, although you do break a lot of roots. I'm trying to align the long tendrils up and down the line, so when the wires are there, they'll naturally go onto the wires. It's not always easy. This one here, for instance, is facing up and down the line, so it'll catch the wire. It's a project after this to put the stakes in and wires. You see here we have a little plant. Next door to it we've transplanted a massive one. So what's this? Why is that? And that's because the rabbits or hares attacked midsummer, cut off all the foliage off a little guy like this one, and most of them in fact actually, but missed a few, and they missed this one. So this was the sort of growth that happened because the rabbits didn't get them. It was just one night. That was it. So I've still got 2 in that row, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this row. That's 7. I think that should move all the ones that need moving. It's going to be quite pretty actually, having moved down here, because this is a bit of grass, bit of paddock that wasn't being used. I can still get the tractors and mowers down over there along that line. I can get the mower in between these lines. I can get the mower around here. So it's all fine. Just got to keep digging and moving. It's all done. I've moved 13 grapes from up the top there down to here. Put a pest protector on them, the plastic things, although it didn't work last time. Watch my other video on that. Pests being rabbits. But I'll see what I can do before spring. They won't do anything on the brown wood, I don't think. I've just got to come down and with my tying machine to tie them to sticks, and maybe a little prune as well too. Good luck for 22, 23 Chardonnays. Now with the Chardonnays that I've moved, now needs stakes and wires. There's the stakes on the ground, there's some stakes I've put in. I'm going to put some more in. Line it up. Angle it back this way a bit, because it'll be straining here. I made this rammer at a welding class, out of a bit of pipe. Job done. I've got these permanent wire strainers. These are for basically straining up the wire. The wire can go right through, so you just have to thread it onto the wire and then you can just tighten it up. This time I'm going to use pegs at each end in the ground. I've got to drive them right down with a sledgehammer to make them do some straining. Okay, the wire is strung along through the 4 posts with the strainer just past the first post here, and the wire is down into the ground into those little stakes. So now we'll just tighten up the permanent wire strainer. 2 main tools, the big wire cutters and the little multi-grips for twisting the wire. There's lots of different proper knots for wire. I know how to do some of them but can't because it's too tough. I just formed a little loop. This is the little loop I did. That won't come undone, it's a bit ugly, but it'll do. It's just got a square head on this end, so you can turn it with the plier, with the adjustable spanner. Yay! Don't get your fingers caught in it like I just did. Very quickly tightens up, but you can't pull these wires tight by hand. We don't need it too tight, it's only holding up a few grapes. It's got this little lock mechanism here, it's like a ratchet. They're made in New Zealand by Strainright, non-sponsored. That'll do at the moment. It's quite nice, quite tight. It's got a bit of tension on it. It's good. Happy. This is a strainer. The wire comes through and winds up there on the square end nut. This little thing here is the ratchet that catches those teeth. Very clever little mechanism. It's called a permanent wire strainer because you leave it there forever. I could have actually moved it that way a little bit, but it doesn't matter. Going to do the middle row now. Got a new coil of wire. This coil of wire is 500 meters long, half a kilometer, believe it or not. And it's endurance wire, go fence, 500 meters, 2.5 millimeter, high tensile fencing wire. And an important thing, which I wasn't using before, a pair of safety glasses. Working with this stuff, it can flick up into your eye. If you let go of an end, it just usually flicks back at you. It's dangerous. End of this wire, take your eye out just like that. Endurance wire. Also not sponsored. I wish somebody would sponsor me. That'd be a dream. Okay, it's almost done. We've got 4 wires on each row. It's probably a bit hard to see on the video. 4 wires on each. But they're not finished yet because I ran out of strainers unplanned. So the bottom wire is for water, a water pipe, irrigation pipe. The next line is the main line for the cordons, the main attachment line, the growing line, and the top line. Very happy. It's a big job. Fighting the wire is a big job. Safety glasses on all the time. That end flicks around really badly. So all I have to do is undo this end, put on the strainer, and then tie it off again and tighten them up. Getting ready for spring. These 3 rows here are my best yet. Well, I say that so far to date. It's got a permanent strainer of them. All of them have got those, my other ones, but what they haven't got is a straining line down to a peg right in the ground. So I can pull it up quite tight while these things still angling northwest a little bit. And this wire is quite tight, so it'll brace the whole thing. Happy. Okay, the move of the chardonnays is finished. Each row has got 4 wires now, the bottom one being one for water. It's almost finished because I haven't put the irrigation pipes on yet. I have got them. When I put the strainers on, I found out that they were pulling it downhill. And they were pulling the one that's angling to the left, just pulling it over. So I then hammered in another Y post at the one facing right, and then hooked the wire over the top. And that seems to have done the trick very well, actually. It's holding the tension very nicely, and I've joined them in the middle with a bit of wire. Happy with that. And the vines that I can, I've already strapped to the second wire. The strainers are on there. Very good little devices. And the wire's going down into the peg in the ground that I showed before. The blue sticks are just for safety, as are the little shiny strings, just to try and avoid people walking straight into the wire, which is quite hard to see actually. But it's sun. Look at that. They look very nice. Good afternoon sun on the chardonnays. These trees right in the middle here are olives, and they don't really shade the chardonnays because they're on the southwest side, and this is all north facing here, so I don't worry about them.